Welcome to the Web Piano Teacher Podcast. Gather together and relax with us as we perform your favorite songs, discuss what makes them great, and how to make it work on piano.
If you'd like to learn, play, and share this song like Shawn does using his revolutionary whiteboard technique, visit webpianoteacher.com and try out the free membership level. Please don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe.
All right, Ray Charles, Hallelujah, I Just Love Her So. 1, 2, 3. Let me tell you about a girl I know. She's my favorite and she lives next door. Every morning when the sun comes up, she brings me coffee in my favorite cup. That's why I know, hallelujah, I just love her so. I'm in trouble and I have no friends. I know she'll go with me until the end. Everybody asks me how I know. I smile at them and say she told me so. That's why I know, hallelujah, I just love her so. Now if I call her on the telephone and tell her that I'm all alone, by the time I count from 1 to 4, I hear her on my door. In the evening when the sun goes down, when there is nobody else around, she talks to me and she holds me tight and tells me, Daddy, everything's alright. That's why I know, yes I know, hallelujah, I just love her so. Hallelujah, I just love her so. Hallelujah, I just love her so. There we go.
Good job.
Thank you. All right, that was take 4, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is, I'm Shawn Cheek of webpianoteacher.com. This is my wife, Shauna. And yeah, we're doing Ray Charles, obviously, today. And this is an arrangement that actually I've done on the website. I'm a piano teacher, and I teach online, and I kind of teach a different way than most people do. I don't use notes on a staff. I use letters on a whiteboard using a chord approach. Works for a lot of people who do not read music well or can't read music or don't want to read music. It's just an alternative. So it's been a great way for a lot of people to learn that way. And this is a lesson I've done on the site. So what's neat about this one is that you can just play it with the melody in the right hand, you know. So you have what Ray's singing in the right hand along with the left hand part, or you can sing along with it. So it's one of those that works both ways. So if you're someone who likes to sing and play, or if you're someone who just wants the melody in the right hand and don't want to sing, this arrangement works for both things, I think. So this one is on the website along with a lot of other Ray Charles songs I've done. So what do you think of when you think of Ray Charles? What comes to mind?
I don't know. I'm a little tired today.
Yeah, aren't we? Gosh, we've been doing so much. We have 4 kids, and man, they run you ragged, don't they?
I just can't even respond. I found out too we were doing this song,
A few minutes ago.
Yeah. So I was like trying to speed read and process. All I can think about is the lyric that she calls him daddy. It's in a lot of songs.
It is. Yeah,
and
it really is.
I don't really get it.
Some kind of weird thing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember the movie. It was a great movie.
It was a good movie. Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. So, and I think, according to Ray Charles himself, it was an accurate portrayal of his life, and unfortunately, most of it was, riddled with the drug addiction and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And but he, musically, he did some really great things. And one of the things he did that was kind of controversial when he did it, but he took the gospel blues, from the church service and kind of brought it into mainstream. Mm. And so this is one of those songs. And, I've been to church all my life, and this is one that you could fit it right in a church service, the melody and everything, and change the word, change the lyrics, and you'd have a gospel song a choir could sing, But I think he was the first to really do that, to bring gospel blues of the church into mainstream music, the music part at least.
Right.
Yeah.
He probably wasn't the only one doing it, but he was the first one to have it, like you said, mainstream, notable, on the radio.
Yeah, right. And some of the members of the church, their reaction was, well, that's our music. You take it, put it in mainstream. I don't know, but I love that kind of music, and to me, I can enjoy it in a church service just as well as I can enjoy it.
It always goes back to
in
the
this
same
setting.
Argument: who owns what music?
Yeah, right.
I understand a tradition, but I don't know about anyone owning any music.
Yeah, there's only 12 tones, and there's only so many chord progressions that work and so many rhythms, and it's all been done over and over again already. No one has a right to it, because a chord, if I do that, I didn't make that. It's a C minor chord, but it always was a C minor chord. I can't claim ownership.
I'll give somebody ownership over a song that they composed and wrote.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. But a style or I know when we did the Carole King episode, we had a conversation about a journalist had asked Brian Wilson and Carole King who created the 4/5.
Yeah.
And they both were like,
right.
Not us.
And the 4/5, by the way, is a chord that, kind of leads you back into the one chord, that sound. So everybody's kind of heard that sound, and they're squabbling over who did that, but Bach did it. Someone probably did it for Bach, and he was born in 1685. So it kind of gets on my nerves too.
And I didn't know this, or maybe I knew it and I forgot, but he was sent to a school for the blind and the deaf in Florida.
Yeah. And
he was taught classical music. Ray Charles.
Yeah. And I remember that, or I heard hearing an interview where he said, during that time, he wasn't any remarkable or anything among the other students. He just kind of fit in. He wasn't, anything special according to him.
Right.
During that time.
Most special people tend to say that.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, that classical background, which, after studying everything, I'm going to be 50 years old in 2 years. And after studying everything, really, a lot of people are blessed to, be trenched in the classic tradition, Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, and Chopin and all of that. And then some people are blessed to be in, pop music or country music or whatever but people tend to pick one genre, and that's what they are. Maybe they dabble in other genres, but people by and large tend to stay in one area of music. Not everyone. I'm just making a generalization. But I've had the pleasure of everything, really, because I was grown up in the classics, but I also grew up in church, so I was exposed to a lot of gospel blues music as well, and also pop music and country music and everything. Being a teacher, and you try to teach. People have requests, and everybody has different interests. So being a teacher really forced me to study all types of music, all kinds of music. And the more I do it, and I'm still doing it to this day, the more I realize it's all the same. You can, a Bach prelude is not that far from a 12-bar blues progression. It's not, it's not exactly the same, of course, but they're so close. There's these little barriers between them are not really barriers at all. They could easily, be crossed. So, the different genres we have, there's really just a little rhythm or a style of playing from one to the next. There's not really that much separating it. It's all harmony. It's all scales. It's all chords.
And maybe, a lot of the people we've covered on this podcast too, and some more in depth than others, but I think a lot of them have had that classical background, and then they have a love for blues music and a love for, but because they have such a broad education in music, they're able to bring it all together. And it's something that it's just interesting to listen to. Mm-hmm. And I think when it's interesting to listen to, people stay engaged longer throughout their songs, but I mean also like throughout generations. We stay engaged in their music a lot better. Because I have a tendency, was listening to something recently and somebody was like, "Oh, didn't you just love that? It was so amazing." And I remember I didn't want to like hurt their feelings, but I was like, well, after about 20 minutes, really after like 10 minutes, my brain just shut off. And after 10 more minutes of trying to stay engaged, I just couldn't anymore.
Yeah.
Because I just think musically it wasn't very engaging. And when there's not a lot of variation and not a lot of change, we can just kind of like shut our brains off. I don't know.
And what's always interesting to me is there's not a formula for what makes a good melody or a good chord progression or a good song for that matter. People have been trying to figure that out. If we could, everyone would write a hit song. But there's no formula for it. It just, somehow there's a magic with a certain melody, a certain rhythm that sticks with us. And you never can tell what's going to be a hit, what's going to be a popular tune. So we take this, Ray Charles song. One thing I realize about it is in the beginning, it's a straight rhythm, which is interesting because it's and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, da 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 da. Straight, da da. Then we go to swing, da da, ba ba da 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 da. Then it's da 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 da. So you have that da 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 da. And then whenever we come back to that intro part, it's always bum 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 bum. A straight rhythm. So that's very interesting there. And
that's the thing, though. That is what forces your brain without even being able to identify what's happening, or if you can or can't identify it, that's not what matters. Our brains automatically, because it changes, stay engaged.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. But to combine the swing and the straight rhythm is not really something that people do a lot. So that always tripped me up a little bit. I have to think about it.
Does it trip you up when you're listening to it, or when you're trying to play it?
No, when I'm trying to play it, because a lot of times I'll start in and go. No, that's not right. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Because I think of the "Let me tell you about the da-da-da-da," and this one. I was having a little trouble singing it because I have this is a piano solo arrangement, which has, again, the melody in the right hand. If I were just going to sing it and spend time and work on it, I'm going to go, "Let me tell you about the da-da-da." I just have chords. But this has that melody in the right hand, which adds a little bit of I just have to practice a little bit, but not totally doable. But that chord progression. We're saying everything's been done. Have you ever heard this? We sing that every Friday. Na, 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 fight, 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 or whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. It makes me think of football, which we're doing pretty good in football this year, aren't we?
We are not doing anything.
Well, we created this kid, so yeah, I'm going to take credit in that. Yeah, my son's senior year in football. He's doing really well this year. He's really fast, and I'm not fast, so I like to be, his genes are from me. And it's neat to be physically related to someone who is fast, because I never got to experience that of getting the ball and then just blowing past everybody, and people that are fast, you blow past them. It's just really cool. So we're having a lot of fun. Undefeated so far, It's really exciting. Yeah. So that made me think of football. All right, back to Ray Charles, I guess.
Yeah.
I wanted to say something about Ray Charles, the person. He is, I play a lot of composers, a lot of singer-songwriters, and I don't necessarily put, the classical composers above all of the musicians of today. I don't do that. People tend to do that. They say, oh, Bach, Beethoven, everybody, they're way, they're in a different planet than,
maybe Bach and just
yeah,
what he produced in his lifetime.
Yeah. Now, not to diminish what he did either, but the musicians of today in a different genre, a lot of them have great, wonderful talent as well. But Ray Charles is one of those to me that I put up on the top shelf as far as musician. And when you when you watch all of interviews of him and he's talking, music is just coming out of him. Even when he's just talking, you can see there's a rhythm the way he's moving, and when he speaks, there's a
cadence to the way he speaks.
And it's just even if he was just reading a script or something, it would be so interesting just hearing him talk, the way the words come out and the inflections of his voice. Music is just emanating out of him, and so and the stuff he did. He did blues stuff. He did a lot of jazz stuff too. People don't realize this. Yeah. But I had a jazz album that I listened to. Did you pick up anything on that? No.
I knew he did.
Yeah.
He did every genre.
Yeah, and jazz.
Country.
Jazz is not easy. Jazz is can be very complicated. But he did that very well as and you said he did country. I think his mother he called it country western.
Yeah.
But he, I think he lost his mother.
He was 14.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Without getting into it. I've seen the movie, tragic upbringing, but, that probably was therapy for him to do all the country music. And some people didn't, go, oh, I don't want to listen to country. They want to hear the blues stuff or the pop stuff he did, but
is country that far from blues?
Yeah, it is not. It's right next door. It's right. In fact, they're intermingled. Really, they're not.
It's so frustrating to me that, and I'm going to say that we on the outside of music industry or creating music or making music, kind of get on people for getting outside of their lane.
Yeah.
When I'm like, music is music. There's no, I can go to a specific radio station when I'm in a specific mood for a specific thing.
Yeah.
But to say that the artists themselves can't do one or the other.
Yeah. And I'll tell you something else. When an artist starts to write for what he thinks that people want to hear, he's lost it.
Correct.
He's lost it. They need to write from the heart what comes out of them. And then regardless of who likes it or who doesn't, and he did country western because he wanted to. So I respect that. And it's really good in that genre.
Because, there's a lot of, I know more about Elton John than any other artist we've talked about. So I reference him a lot.
Yeah. Well, he's a good one. He's kind of a sinner,
but, he did a lot. There was a lot of times where he was trying to write for what he thought people wanted to hear, and they're terrible. He knows they're not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you write music, and you should, if you want to, you don't even have to let anybody hear it. Just write it. But write from your soul, your own place, what you know. That's where it's got to come from. Because if you write, when you begin to write for someone else or some agenda that you think, then it's not really art anymore. I don't think, and it's usually not any good. So. There we go. But I'll tell you one thing about real quick, an example of, the country and the blues. I've never heard anybody talk about this, but I've noticed it. We talk about the country third a lot, So there it is. You guys know what it is if you follow
Floyd
my lessons.
Kramer, yeah.
Yes, we use the country third extensively in our lessons on webpianoteacher.com. But if I just change that a little bit and do this, then I have a blues lick. See, I just threw it in there. I just kind of mixed it a little bit, and we didn't even think anything about it, because blues and country are so close. They really are, and I think, I don't know how they developed, alongside each other or whatever, or if country might have spun out of blues, I don't know. But they are so connected. Yeah. You know how, country song, what one person said, all you need is something or 3 chords in
the truth.
3 chords in the truth. 3 chords. Well, the blues progression, 12-bar blues, has 3 chords in it. Very simple. Country's very simple. The main part of country is the story, I think, that's in it. But yeah, so Ray was great. I personally love the blues stuff that he did the best, the older, stuff he did when he was younger, like this song right here and some of the others. The one, oh wait, wrong key.
Mess Around? It's my favorite.
That one's on the website, by the way. Better stop before I forget. See the girl with the red dress on? Good song.
Wait, is that Mess Around?
No, baby. No, that's What I Say.
Yeah.
What I say. But I've done Mess Around too. That one's on there, as well as Georgia.
And have you done I Got a Woman? I got a woman way over town.
I may have. I can't say yes for sure or no on that, because I know all the songs. I just haven't taught them all. But there's definitely a Ray Charles section on the website you can get into. But yeah, he's loved. And another thing I loved he did, he would have this.
That's church.
Yeah. Na. And in all these gospel churches, you hear that everywhere. And they have those, old gospel churches have some of the best musicians that you have ever heard. You would think, why aren't these people famous?
What gets me about gospel music in the terms of musicians at churches, but then take those musicians out of the church, and then I'm still in awe of is how they can follow each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just being such a good musician, but individually, but then also in the group.
Mm-hmm. And that word you used, a lot of people use that, follow. I follow the singer, or follow the accompanist, or follow. And really, it's not following, it's anticipation. Because if you follow, you're late.
That's true.
And you're missing it, and you throw everything off. It's an instinct and anticipation for what about.
Because when you were playing it, how you said Ray Charles plays a straight beat and then he goes to a swing beat, my first thought was, I wonder how hard it was to be in his band. Because I would imagine if he's anything like what Elton John does too, he just changes it up.
Yeah.
Not just song to song, but like one verse to the next verse, he could play it completely different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I guarantee you he was by nature an improvisation
Probably.
person. So, yeah. So great song. And, anyway, I was trying to remember what I was going to, they would have this I call it the Baptist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's ways to dress up chords, like instead of just going, if you go, right, all I'm doing is dressing that chord up. You have what I call the Baptist way of doing it. Amen, so you can have, and again, I'm just dressing up the B flat chord by doing a 4 chord above it. Or I can add little blues. See, just by adding that one little thing there. Isn't that cool? Showing you all my secrets. Or he has what I call the gospel blues way of dressing up the chord. So instead of amen, we have amen. So you can hear it. I'll say right? Hear the difference there? Whoa. It makes me think of Hercules.
Oh, God.
That movie Hercules. Remember?
Yes, I remember.
At the beginning, and they had some of the best music in that.
Because we say the best because it fits what we like.
Yeah. But it is good music.
It
and
is.
Plus, my son Carter,
Okay.
the same, football star. He, football/track star. He,
Gosh, shameless.
yeah, he is, he loved that movie for a while. It was just all he wanted to watch. Had to put it on, and he, watched it when he was going to bed, watched it when he got up. Anyway, he just loved that movie. And it's so funny looking back now because the character, suave, guy, confident, and the hair. Remember?
He even recently got a mullet, which now looks even more like.
But he's got this real thick, curly, hair naturally. And so, he kind of looks like the Hercules guy.
Poor Carter.
I know. Right. Where was I going with that? I don't even know. Oh, okay.
know.
The gospel blues way of dressing up the chord. All right. So. Sorry. So that has a different sound to it. There's only one note difference in the two between the Baptist way or the gospel way. One's minor and one's major. And so I could go, or hear the difference? A little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can hear it when you go slower. Yeah, so he brought that, into his music as well. And just the soul that he would sing with, Yeah. I mean, he wrote.
Would sing with feeling and conviction and passion. And
when I got first introduced to Ray Charles, I was watching The Cosby Show.
Well, of course.
And, which we all watched. Great show. And there was that one episode.
Yeah. Where they're coming down the stairs.
Yeah. Baby. I remember Bill Cosby going, baby. What was that song?
I don't know.
Da, da, da. I can hear it in my head. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. And I just love that song. And, I found out later that, that was an actual song. I thought they just wrote it for the show or something.
Well, I'm going to wrap it up here before our camera shuts off.
All right.
But if you live around here, the weather has finally cooled off. So you want to get outside. The Ray Charles self-titled, his debut, first full album. And it's got all the songs we talked about. It has Hallelujah, I Just Love Her So on it. But you got to roll the windows down. You got to turn the volume up. And if you're in Texas, you enjoy the brief fall temperatures.
Yeah, between 100 degrees and and the ice age.
So you guys check out webpianoteacher.com for all your piano lesson needs.
Mm-hmm. If you're a beginner, I have lessons for you. If you're new to my method, the Easy Piano Lesson series that can be found by clicking WPT University at the top. That'll take you to 50 lessons that'll just give you a little quick framework. Or if you're a beginner, lessons that you really need to get started. That'll help. You can also download my sheets that I've written out. Done this for over 15 years and a lot of material on there.
Yeah. So have a great day, everybody.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you.